Hello, I'm Lori Steiner, sitting in for Armin Budish. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, we'll prescribe important advice about managing your medications. Then, have an IRA? We'll offer primary information on why you should have a second beneficiary. Is your back out of whack? We'll help you get your back to work. Plus, we'll ensure that your health insurance is treating you well. And what happens to your Social Security benefits after a divorce?
It's time to get geoing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. Today's medicines can be life-saving, but drug interactions can impact their effectiveness and sometimes even dispense a dose of danger to your health. If you're perplexed by all of your pills, Brian Hoffmaster is here to help. Brian is a registered pharmacist with Metro Health. So welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me.
It's no secret that there's many seniors out there taking many different kind of multiple medications. So do you have any kind of help, a prescription for them in managing all their pills?
Sure. Probably the best piece of advice that I can give to anybody is to make sure that you keep a list of all of your medications with you at all times. Most seniors do this, and it works out really well for them.
Should they have a copy to anybody?
Absolutely. Keeping a copy not only in your wallet, but keeping a copy with your spouse, your children, your other loved ones is also a great idea.
And update it. I know I have my list, but I forget to put things on it.
Absolutely.
Or take them off. So yeah. Now, you even have, though it's a good idea to have your list, wouldn't your pharmacy have all that information as well?
Yes, the pharmacy would have it all, but the problem is that some people don't always shop at just one pharmacy, and so that can really be a problem. So I encourage our viewers not just to shop around. It can be enticing to shop around, but shopping just at one pharmacy can really help centralize that list, and it also helps because the pharmacist can then check against that list for any drug interactions.
Okay, because they're on the watch. Your doctor should be on the watch, but the pharmacist has to be on the watch as well.
Right.
Huh?
Correct.
Okay. And it's not just individual prescriptions that can cause interactions. It can be other types of medications or other things you're doing?
Absolutely. I tell all of my patients to make sure that not only on that list is it your prescription meds, but also keep on that list your over-the-counter medications, your herbals, vitamins, your multivitamins even. Everything that you take that's like a pill, keep it on that list.
Okay, because those are medications too, really.
Absolutely.
You don't think of it that way.
Right, and they can interact just along with your prescription drugs as well.
And if you've got a list, or your pharmacist, your doctor has a list, is there a way that they can take a look at what you're taking in case there is an interaction and be able to fix things?
Absolutely. That's certainly the main goal of the pharmacist, to look over those drugs, especially new drugs as they're coming in, and check them against everything that you're taking to make sure there's not any interactions. And
maybe, even dosages can make a difference, right?
Absolutely. Probably one thing to tell the viewers is that when you have a potential drug interaction, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily a bad thing, because you can manage some interactions just by increasing the dose of one medication or decreasing the dose of another. So just because you have two drugs that are interacting doesn't necessarily mean you shouldn't be taking them both.
Right, because you might need it for two different, situations.
Absolutely.
So. And one of the things that I always wondered about too was generic versus name brand. I mean, if you're taking a generic, are you getting all you're paying for, like what the name brand would be?
Right. By and large, absolutely. For most of the population, for most drugs, generics are a very effective option. There are some instances when you may see a physician or some patients that would prefer to stick with a brand. And that's because sometimes the release characteristics can differ ever so slightly. So some specific medications that come to mind are seizure medications, thyroid medications, and some blood thinners too.
Okay.
But if anybody has any questions, definitely, check with your doctor, check with your pharmacist.
All right, this has been great information. So what's the best prescription for managing your medications to maximize their effectiveness? Consult your pharmacist. My thanks to Brian for making this healthy dose of information really easy to swallow.
To learn more, call Metro Health at 216 778-7800 or visit www.metrohealth.org. Next, who will inherit your IRAs? But first, Carlo Collodi, an Italian author, originated this animated character to read as an allegory. Then Hollywood turned the tale into a moral message for kids of all ages. So who knows the name of the kid cartoon drawn to being a good boy instead of a bad lad? We'll offer the answer with no strings attached when we return.
My husband and I got into the car and we couldn't do it. We couldn't pick one baby over the other. Coming to Metro changed the entire pregnancy. We actually started to become happy with our situation. We owe a big thank you to Metro. I can't imagine our family without Sam.
Jiminy Crickets, the mischievous marionette that Disney redrew as a real boy, was the puppet Pinocchio. While Pinocchio may have started as the star of A Simple Story, he truly found fame in film.
You've identified someone to inherit your IRAs. Smart move. But Jim Lineweaver says you need to have second thoughts about your first beneficiary. Why? Well, we'll let him explain it. Jim is a certified financial planner with the Lineweaver Financial Group. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
So I know that a lot of people haven't yet taken care of actually picking a beneficiary for their IRA, but even those who have, who think they're ahead of the game, they need to take a second look at it as well?
Well, they do. This is something that should automatically be reviewed maybe every 5 years or so. And also, whenever there's a life change, we've had a lot of people come in through divorce or problems with kids and stuff, and the last thing they're thinking about is, oh, should I change my beneficiary designations?
Sure.
And it really could be harmful because you don't want an ex-wife or something receiving all your money. You know, you'd rather it go to your kids.
Yeah, it's not necessarily what you want, it's what it says.
Right, and you also run into a problem if you don't leave anybody there and then it just goes to your estate. There's certain stretch out provisions that people can utilize by an individual inheriting an IRA as opposed to an estate. So there could be some additional tax benefits that are lost as well.
Okay, so 1 is good, 2 is better, but why does it really have to be something you do and you name? I mean, won't it just, the beneficiary who might not be there anymore just can skip and pass on to the next round?
Well, here's where the legal side of things come in, and this is where the problem is because there's something in the Latin language that gave us some legal terms as far as how people are going to physically inherit some things. Because you not only have the primary beneficiary, which would be first in line, but then you have your contingent. So if that person's no longer living or around, who else is going to get that? And that's where the contingencies come into play.
Okay, so I know we talked before, if you've got 4 children, 1 dies, now you've got 3. If you just named your children, it's going to go to the 3 and not that 4th share going to that dead child's children, right?
Well, this is depending on where that Latin language comes in. So what happens is per stirpes would mean basically representation. So if you have the 4 and all of a sudden you lost one of the children and you have your designated beneficiaries as per stirpes, that 25% that was going to that child that passed away, then that person's wishes or their children should be able to get that money. So it may go to grandkids. The other problem though is if you leave it what's called per capita, okay, which is actually designated by total head count, then what ends up happening is you have the 4 that goes down to 3. Now you just disinherited some grandkids. And the problem is that may not be your intention. So it's very important not only that you just list the people out as primary contingent, list the percentages that everybody's supposed to get, and then beyond that also list them as per capita or per stirpes depending on how you want them to inherit the money.
So you really have to do that on the IRA. So what you have in your will, some people think the will control that, but it doesn't, correct?
No, because what happens is then you're going to lose a lot of potential tax benefits by actually just having to go to your estate and over to your will. It'll get probably to the right place. So we're not saying that some stranger's going to get the money, but other probate expenses and other things are involved, and you're going to lose a lot of tax benefits.
And the beneficiary designations override what your will says. So you want to make sure they're also coordinated, I would think.
Yeah, because it goes by contract, legal binding contract who that beneficiary is, as opposed to just leaving it directly to the will. So it can actually help out.
It's excellent information for people who are not yet in the know, perhaps. So There's per stirpes, there's per capita. It's all Latin. If it's this Latin legalese is Greek to you, then you got to give Jim a call. He'll explain your options in easy, plain English, so you can leave your IRAs to the people you want in the way that you want. His number is coming up next.
For more information, call the Lineweaver Financial Group at 1-888-313-4009 or click to www.lineweaver.net. Next, perfecting your posture. Looking for places to go? Things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. On Saturday, June 24th, celebrate the artist in you at the heart of Geauga Arts Jam. Experience the delights of artistic expression in all forms: music, dancing, poetry, theater, and visual arts, all on historic Chardon Square. To draw out more details on this historic event, visit www.chardonartsjam.org or note this number, 440-537-3344.
Can you imagine being in debilitating pain for 10 years, having to curtail or give up activities you used to enjoy with your family and friends, like bike rides, walks in the park, golf games? That, in a nutshell, was Dick Paradon's life, until his wife urged him to visit Dr. Noel Aboud at the Solon Spine and Wellness Center. Dick and Dr. Aboud are both here today to tell us why the next 10 years look very different for him. So, Dick, welcome to the show. Now,
thank you.
If you had back pain for that long, I'm certain you were trying something to get rid of it.
Well, I did the original medication from the doctors, so much so that I probably was getting immune to the painkillers, and my next set after that would have been some type of exploratory surgery, which did not have any promise. It was like a 50-50 gamble. We could find something, we could not find something. It may or may not work. So I thought I needed to learn to live with pain.
And that's a shame to be in that position. But
Right.
your wife saw a commercial, I understand, with Dr. Aboud in it, and made you actually go see him. So
Yes.
what happened at that first visit?
Yes, she did. She said, "Are you going to be this way all of your days?" I said, "I hope not," because it was such pain. We called the office on a Monday, and we were lucky enough to get in the following day. We met with Dr. Aboud, and he let me tell him my story. And he reassured me and Barbara that he had a procedure that could help us. And from there, we got in the procedure that afternoon and did a treatment that afternoon, and I was on my way.
Wow. So, Dr. Aboud, how did you actually help Dick?
Well, Dick had the classic disc herniation that we see all the time, where that disc is bulging and it affects back pain and leg pain, and he's a really good golfer, and he wasn't able to do golf or the activities that he loves. And so after the exam, he was a great candidate for it, and we decided to discuss the options, and he and his wife decided it would work for them.
Okay, well, that's good. And I understand when you went to Dr. Aboud, you were getting ramped up for a big golf outing. So.
Yes, I was. As a matter of fact, I had about a 4-week timetable where I was exercising at home and going through water aerobics. And I really wasn't sure that I was going to make it after one trip with Dr. Aboud, and 5 more, and then 17 more, because I put him on a 3-week schedule that I needed to play 135 holes of golf in 5 days. I really needed help. 5 days into the program, Dr. Aboud says, "How we doing?" I says, "I'm there." He said, "Now, if you're not happy, I will refund everything." I says, "Let's keep going. It's working."
All right. So what is the decompression like when you experienced it?
Well, because of his staff, which is a very open and friendly staff, we get in, we do a little massage, and then we get in the decompression table. It's so relaxing that I've actually fallen asleep. We can listen to headphones or any one of 3 panels above us watching the TV or movie. It is so relaxing. I feel so good after that I'm ready to play golf or walk or ride a bike after each exercise.
That's
so it's very relaxing, very relaxing, very
Is
soothing.
this a normal reaction for most patients?
It's a wonderful reaction, and some people we can't get 100% relief like we have with Dick, but that's what we determine during our consultation. We'll sit down and we'll find out. I can help you, maybe it's only 70%, and that's our goal. And some patients, they can't even walk to the mailbox, and our goal might be that they can walk a Home Depot. So those are the kind of things that we tailor make during each initial exam with the patient.
That's great. And so did you make your handicap?
Well, I didn't quite get there. Being a snowbird from Cleveland, I haven't played since September. I did play very, very well. I had no pain coming home, and it's just been a wonderful thing. As a matter of fact, I told Dr. Boot in my first orientation that it would be 1 or 2 days out of the 30 that I would feel really, really good. I come home now, and today is day 53 of the best days of my life.
Fantastic. That's a great story. Dick will tell you that 10 years is too long to wait for relief from daily chronic back pain. He'll also tell you that finding relief in just 3 weeks is the best feeling in the world. If you have back pain, don't wait. Follow Dick's lead and go see Dr. Aboud. Maybe, just maybe, he'll be able to help you too. My thanks to Dick and for Dr. Aboud for joining us.
Thank you.
Learn more by calling Solon Spine and Wellness Center at 440-941-9331 or log on to www.solonbackpain.com. Next, how does it benefit you?
It's time to get up and go, an exercise minute on golden opportunities.
Hello everybody, I'm Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness, and we're here today to show you how to work every major muscle in the lower body with one simple exercise. Ready to go?
I am ready.
Let's do it. Okay. We have a chair next to us here in the studio. You should have some firm surface next to you just in case you get trouble when you're at home. All we're going to do is stand with good posture. We're going to keep our feet shoulder width apart. We're simply going to take one big step out in front of us, dip down so both legs are at about a 90-degree angle, and push yourself back up. Alternate. Let's go ahead and switch legs, down and up. In this particular movement, we want to do at least 20 repetitions so we can at least get 10 for each side. How you feeling?
Dynamite.
Dynamite, all right. Notice Lori has great posture here. She's doing good. Make sure you breathe. Exhale with exertion. Inhale as your body's resting. And now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, please send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 23240 Chagrin Boulevard, Suite 450, Beechwood, Ohio, 44122.
Okay, here's a quiz. Name the first multi-hospital health insurance company in the world. Give up? It's Cleveland's own Medical Mutual. And now, 80 years after that first foray into health insurance, Medical Mutual has kept to its core as a healthcare company while also expanding beyond those borders. Don Olson is the Director of Communications for Medical Mutual of Ohio, and he's here to honor its history. So we're happy to have you.
Good to be here.
I know I feel like insurance has been around forever, but it really hasn't been, has it?
Well, we in the industry feel the same way as you do, actually. No, it's only been around since, in Ohio, we were the first company, Medical Mutual, in 1934. And there was a hospital administrator named John Mannix. I believe he worked for Elyria Hospital, and he was on the money side of the business, and he was thinking, why can't people pay a little bit of money now so that when they do go to the hospital, they'll be covered? Now, he didn't even know that he was talking about health insurance at the time, but they were the principles of insurance. So he was a visionary and one of the pioneers of healthcare.
Okay, just made sense to him, huh?
Yeah, just a little bit now. It's paid for when you need it.
Yeah, so how long did it take him to get his idea really up and running?
Well, he did have to sell the community. This is a nonprofit venture that he was coming up with. But he also had to get the area hospitals on board too. And that's why we're the first multi-provider plan, if you will, at the time. Up until this time, for instance, the very first company of this type was just between the Dallas Public Schools and the Baylor University Hospital. Just one employer with one hospital. This is the first time that we were selling insurance to the entire population for a series of hospitals instead of just one.
Okay, so when did it actually open the doors?
June 15th, today, 1934, at 1900 Euclid Avenue. And then in 1947, they put their pencil holders and their chairs and rolled them down Euclid to our current home, which is at 9th and Prospect, the Rose Building.
Okay, how much were premiums when it was just getting started?
Well, if you can believe this, and I wrote this down because I find it hard to believe myself, but premiums at the time were 60 cents a month for ward service. Remember all these beds in the big room?
Right.
And then if you wanted a semi-private room, 75 cents if you can handle that. But if you know, 75 cents may seem like a piddly amount now, but it was actually, a loaf of bread's a nickel at the time. So at the time, but still affordable to say the least. And at the time, most people were self-insured. They pay their own health premiums.
Sure, yeah. And at that time, it was called the Cleveland Hospital Service Association. When did it become Medical Mutual?
Well, actually, the companies had a bunch of different names over the years. All of these plans were called hospital service associations, and then Blue Cross was just a nickname, and then we officially became Blue Cross in the late 50s. Medical Mutual was a Blue Shield plan. Blue Shield covered doctors.
Oh, I never knew what the difference was.
Blue Cross covered hospitals. So we eventually, and there we see, we also
Did you partner with the Indians?
We insured the Cleveland Indians. We had Bob Feller, a picture of Bob Feller signing it, and also the Cleveland Browns.
Okay.
So it eventually took a lot of, Medical Mutual of Cleveland, the Blue Cross, Blue Shield plan merged with Blue Cross, and we eventually became Medical Mutual of Ohio in 1997.
Okay, well, your 80th birthday, what you going to do to celebrate?
We're going to have coffee and cake.
Okay.
And you're invited if you want to know. We'll be having celebrations in our various offices around the state, and with some of our business partners. Should be a good time.
It sounds wonderful. And 80 more years.
Thank you very much.
As Medical Mutual has shown, a lot can happen in 80 years, and change and growth can be very good things. It's still nice to know that the bottom line comes down to basics, though, providing quality health care coverage that comes from right here in Cleveland. My thanks to Don Olson for joining us.
Find out more about Medical Mutual of Ohio by visiting their website, www.medmutual.com/2014 options. Or call 1-866-488-3266. Next, what happens to your Social Security benefits after a divorce? Hilltop Village Apartments is retirement living at its best. Residents enjoy a wide variety of activities and living services with all large first-floor apartments, private screened-in patios with beautiful park views, daily dining room meals, free laundry facilities, 24-hour staff, and so much more. Enjoy safe, comfortable independence at a very affordable price. Call today for a tour and learn how you can get your first month's rent free. Hilltop Village Apartments, retirement living at its best.
Did you miss a phone number or website? Then here's your second chance, because we're going to list all of that information again. Then we'll be back to help you collect from your ex through Social Security. Divorce often takes a toll on the couple's finances, but when it comes to Social Security, Uncle Sam may have some extra benefits for folks who are divorced. Here to explain is my law partner, Mike Solomon.
Hello, Lori.
Hi, Mike. So if I'm divorced, can I really collect Social Security benefits based on my ex-spouse's record?
The answer is yes. If you've been married, you were married at least 10 years, then you can file, and get Social Security based on your ex-spouse's work record. And you both must be at least 62 to get that. But once you get past the 10 years and 62, you can get it based on your ex-spouse's record.
Do I have to wait to take benefits until my ex-spouse actually applies for his or her benefits?
No, actually, this is one benefit that divorced couples get that married couples don't. If you're married, you can't the non-working spouse, let's say, can't file for Social Security until the working spouse at least files for Social Security. Where if you're divorced, you don't have to wait for that. You can file, when it's
Whenever it's appropriate.
age. Right. Now, there's one exception to that rule.
Okay.
Is that if you've only been divorced 2 years, then you have to wait until your ex-spouse files. What they didn't want people to do is get a divorce so that one spouse
They get
can file
a better
early.
benefit
Right.
for Social
That's
Security,
right.
yeah. Now, do I have to tell my ex-spouse I'm filing for Social Security on his record?
No, the government doesn't make you talk to your ex-spouse, so you do not have to talk.
Oh, that's good. What if I've been married more than once?
Well, if you're married more than once, that's a whole other issue. But in other words, you can pick whichever benefit gives you the higher benefit, whatever's more advantageous to you.
So you can shop around, huh?
That's right, that's right.
Do I get any less if I'm divorced than if I'm married?
No, you don't. So, for example, if you get a divorce, you can get 1/2 of your ex's Social Security benefit. Married, same thing, you get 1/2 of your ex's. And then if your ex passes away, or if you're still married, your spouse passes away, then you get to collect up to 100% of their benefits. So there's no disadvantage through Social Security for getting a divorce. You don't get less. Now, also, by the way, if your spouse dies, if you're divorced, you can get at age 60, you can get a benefit, but it's reduced. Again, the same thing for a married couple. If your spouse dies, you can get a benefit starting at age 60, a survivor benefit,
Instead
but it's
of waiting
reduced
to 62.
That's correct.
All right, good information. Divorce is almost always tough on a couple's finances. Uncle Sam does provide some special Social Security benefits if you've been divorced, but you need to know your rights. For more information, give Mike Solomon a call.
Call Budish, Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.bssplaw.com.
Thanks for joining us. On next week's show, how's your driving? We'll steer you to tips that will tune up your time behind the wheel. Then, everything old is new again. We'll investigate the value of your vintage items. We'll determine your dental health during each decade of life. And we'll hear from Charles Ramsey, the man who rescued 3 women held captive for a decade. But until then, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
Would you like to join our kitchen conversation? All you have to do is call toll-free 1-877-765-1543 and leave us your question, name, and phone number. Or log on to www.golden.tv for all the latest information and show updates.